Hey there, Poornima. So, nice to see these essays from you. Let's see. Okay, so we're starting here. Great. Okay. The bar chart shows the amount of sales by chip manufacturers in France over the period 2017 to December 2017. Okay. For the first half of the year, Intel sales witnessed considerable variations in numbers, reaching its highest point at almost 130,000 in June, whereas AMD sales remained broadly similar for the months of January, March, April, and May, respectively, except for February, where it practically tripled and rocketed to 120,000, followed by a crash in June. My goodness, was that really all just one sentence? That was. Okay, so a lot of information, a lot in one little sentence, not really one little sentence, but one big sentence. So you really needed to break that up. Okay, it goes on. Good. Let me keep reading then, and then I'll make any corrections later. It is surprising that there was a drastic fall for Intel sales in July, followed by an incredible jump in August, where it practically doubled before stabilizing over the next 2 months and finally rose to just over 100,000 in November and December. For AMD, sales numbers soared to 110,000 in July and nearly halved in August again, showing a significant rise in September and October shortly before the plunge in November and corrected a little in December. Okay. Overall, the sales for both Intel and AMD fluctuated considerably throughout the year of 2017. Evidently, the December sales numbers were almost double for Intel and slightly better for AMD when compared with January. Okay, so first of all, you've selected some good information, but there is some, you know what the problem is? It's the length of the sentences. It's like there's so much information in each of these sentences that it makes them kind of hard to follow. So I'm glad that you're using some of this advanced vocabulary, this advanced grammar, but advanced grammar is only effective if it leads to clarity and not if it leads to confusion. So, like for example, here, okay, you know, it was just way too much information. You really needed to break it up somewhat. And even here, again, I mean, also, incredible jump isn't really an IELTS kind of expression here for task 1, so I would change that as well. Also, I wanted a little more data, because, I mean, look at this. You've got basically 24 pieces of data, right? And you only referred to 1, 2, this crash in June, I think, is so important because AMD didn't have any sales at all, and you referred to it as a crash, but you didn't say that it didn't it didn't record any sales, and I think that's really important. Let's see, and then okay, yeah, so you could have added a little more data. So separate the sentences more and maybe add a couple more pieces of data, some more figures in here. All right, let's move on to the next essay. History. Okay. Experts about both the developed and developed world have debated whether educational institutions should focus on teaching learners about their own national history or the history of other countries around the globe. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from the UK Education Council and Oxford University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, perfect. To begin with, there is ample evidence that universities imparting education about world history aid the students in developing fair understanding about the world and famous personalities. The central reason behind this is twofold. Okay, with twofold, I usually like to see a semicolon or a colon, not a comma. Firstly, students are made aware about the cultural diversity and interesting places around the world. Okay, why is that important? Tell me. It's not self-explanatory, so you do have to tell me why you think that's an important point. Secondly, they get an opportunity to read about the life and accomplishments of some of the prominent personalities of human history without the For example, recent empirical research by the UK Education Council demonstrated that 80% of all students who were taught about the world history, not the world history, just world history, at the college level outperform their counterparts in general awareness tests. Again, Therefore, it is conclusively clear that universities should include world history in their curriculum to enhance global awareness in scholars. All right, I like that. Just a couple places that needed development, and just a couple little grammatical things you need to fix as well. Secondly, although there is a case for journalists, bloggers, and even tourism professionals enriching society, the impact of university level education. Why are we talking about this? No. Okay, you've misunderstood the topic here, but let me read the paragraph and then I'll tell you my feedback after I see it completely. This is largely because education lays a foundation for pursuing future career opportunities. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University showed that students who were taught about the history of other countries at college level later on opted for journalism, travel, blogging, and other tourism-related jobs. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that studying about the past of other countries at undergraduate level accelerates students' chances of opting for travel-related professions. Okay, not exactly. What you need to be doing here, you didn't talk about this element about history of national history. Okay, and that's a really vital part of this, because it's that they should concentrate on national history rather than world history, and you didn't talk about that. So, I mean, no one is debating whether or not university education is useful or not. That's not the point. The point is that when you're studying at the university level, should the education focus just on national history or on world history? Okay? And according to this, the belief is that we should focus on national history. Do you agree with that? And you basically, both sides. I don't see that you talked about national history at all. Okay, so from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that campuses should include details about world history in their academic curriculum. It is predicted that this constructive trend will increasingly grow in importance in the coming years. Okay, yeah. So it's an issue with the development of the essay, and that you haven't really focused on the side that they want you to focus on. Okay, so just to recap, some people think that universities and colleges should focus on the history of their own country. So clearly you disagree. I mean, based on what I read here. So you didn't discuss both sides. So this is inaccurate. I think a better thesis statement would have been, I disagree. I think that world history is vital, and certainly more so than national history. Okay? And then what you could have done is you could have talked about the merits of studying national history, of local history, national history, and then you could have used this paragraph. But this, to me, is not relevant at all. All right? So, let's see. Okay, great. So that's the feedback on this set of essays. There were some nice elements in both of them. There are some places that I would like you to correct. Okay, so now just add the errors to your correction list, correct these essays, return them back to us with your new essays. Try to do this in the next day or so. And I'll be here. I'll be waiting to see what you write next. So lots of luck.